for leadership. But I wasn't making it any good on myself before I thought of the three worst things that could possibly go wrong tonight. One being, I forget the next thing I was about to say and just stare blankly at the audience with a weird expression on his face. Kind of like that. The second worst thing that could happen is I could trip over the microphone cord and seriously injure myself. And the third worst thing that could happen would be I get an erection and everyone would see that. And now I just thought of something even worse. If all three of those things happened at the same time, if I forgot a joke, tripped over and landed on my erection. So now that's out of the way, I'd like to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me. My name's Matt. It's not short for anything. My parents actually named me after a dog. True fact. It's very fitting because I'm loyal, I'm Matt's best friend, and I do piss on everything I own. I'm 18. I'm at that age where, after a long time of waiting, I'm finally able to go out clubbing. And after all this time, I realise I don't really like it. I prefer the notion of clubbing from an earlier era, where clubbing was knocking a chick on her head and dragging her back to your cave. I really wish I lived in the 60s. So I'm single, hence the clubbing, trying to find girls. But I play the field a bit. I text on my phone because that's what I do. I text people. And there's this one girl that's been getting a bit serious lately. And I'll read out a message she sent me the other day. She said, wait.
Yeah.
Well, she said, hey, sweetie. That's what she calls me, sweetie. I hope you have a lovely day. I love you. Love you too, Mum. So, I'm at uni at the moment. I go to Murdoch. Yay, Murdoch. No one goes to Murdoch. It's a good uni. I'm studying marketing in the media, which is something that'll get me into advertising, hopefully, in my later years. I think I'd be really good at advertising, because I just think of things that nobody would ever buy, and I think of catchy things that would sell them. Like, for example, if I was to sell an eating disorder, I come up with a really catchy slogan for bulimia. Bulimia, the only way to have your cake and eat it twice. So that's that. I'm unemployed, so I'm broke all the time, and I don't particularly like it, especially while I'm doing all these gigs, open mic gigs at different bars, because I'm not sure if people notice, but being broke at a bar is kind of like watching porn with two broken arms. It's just a bit unfair. So I'm broke and I've got a lot of free time on my hands. So the other day I went out and I got the poor man's version of an Xbox, which is a giant cardboard box with an X painted on the front. That's loads of fun. I wasn't always unemployed. I used to have some jobs. I worked in the adult film industry. I wasn't an actor. I was the guy who made the titles of the movies. You might know some of my titles, such as The Horse Gang Redemption, A Clockwork Orange, and Interracial Holy Standards 5, which is the sequel to Interracial Holy Standards 7, coincidentally. And then when that failed, I joined the death metal band, and I was the lead singer for that. And I left to pursue a solo career, although I couldn't play an instrument, so it was just me screaming to an audience for an hour at a time. That didn't really work out. So now I'm an amateur comedian. I'm doing gigs like this. This is only my 4th time doing stand-up. Just to let me clarify that amateur doesn't necessarily mean that I'm shit. It just means that I'm starting out. I mean, my mum's a shit cook, but she's been doing it for years. That doesn't make her a shit cook. That doesn't make her an amateur. That makes her a shit cook. Despite that last joke, my parents are actually really supportive, particularly my dad. He gave me 2 pieces of advice before I started comedy. He said, Max, don't be sexist. Bitches hate that. He followed that by saying, don't be racist. The Irish people won't understand. It is hard though coming up with some of my jokes. Like yesterday, I tried to write a joke about trainees, but instead I took a break. I don't know why that happened. It was just coincidental. You wouldn't tell this by looking at me, but in my earlier years, I was actually very athletic. In year 3, I won champion boy for my school. So Mum said that to celebrate, I could have anything I wanted from the shops. So I looked at her and I said, Mum, I want a big bag of chips. And I never looked back. So now I spend a lot of my time watching TV. I like to watch TV. A few weeks ago, I was on the couch in a really comfortable position and I couldn't reach the remote. So I ended up watching the news. And I'm not sure if anyone else watches the news, but the news reporters use some pretty heinous words to describe things. Like there was this one report where a dog attacked a 3-year-old child. And he had scratches on his face. Now you would assume the dog would be put down, right? But actually, as the newscaster informed me, the dog was